Good, happy Wednesday evening, May 6, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's begin. First up, live White House holds press briefing, and that is happening right now. If you want to see that, you can just go to WMUR.com and click on the live White House holds press briefing and see that video player. "19 new deaths, all in long-term care facilities, attributed to COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Total number of related deaths in state now at 111. New Hampshire health officials said Wednesday that 19 more people have died of COVID-19, and all were residents of long-term care facilities. The total is the highest number of deaths announced on a single day in the state in connection with the coronavirus pandemic. Officials said 111 people in New Hampshire have died of COVID-19. There have been 295 patients who have required hospitalizations during their illness, and 1,105 patients have recovered. Health Commissioner Lori Shipperton said COVID-19 continues to be a serious problem in nursing homes and long-term care facilities in New Hampshire. Shipperton said that of the 111 deaths in New Hampshire, just 24 hours have not been associated with a long-term care facility. Based on data compiled by the Kesher Family Foundation, that rate would mean that New Hampshire has the highest population of COVID-19 deaths in long-term care facilities in the country. Shipperton said that compared to other states, New Hampshire has not had a big of a problem with community-based transmission, while long-term care facilities continue to experience outbreaks. There have now been 2,740 positive COVID-19 cases in the state, and 1,519 are still active cases. At least 1,110 people have recovered. Shipperton said the state is ramping up testing at long-term care facilities and will soon be sending supplies to facilities to allow them to take nasal swabs of residents and workers and send them to the state for testing. She said the goal is getting baseline testing of all residents and then do follow-up tests of residents and staff to try to ensure new outbreaks don't happen. "We need to stop this virus at the door and be able to stop it before it gets to residents," Shipperton said. Testing in New Hampshire won't be focused solely on nursing homes and long-term care facilities. Governor Chris Sununu said a new online portal will launch Thursday to allow a broader range of Granite Staters to get tested for COVID-19. Sununu said anyone experiencing possible symptoms of the virus, as well as healthcare workers, anyone 60 years older or older, and anyone with range of underlying conditions can schedule to test through the new portal. No doctor referral will be needed to sign up for a test. Shipperton said A person using the portal can choose a testing location close to them and select 3 time slots. The person will then get a call to confirm the testing appointment. Testing can also be scheduled by calling 603-271-5980. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire important information you need to know. And here is that important information you need to know. There are 2,740 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,216,739 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 111 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 295 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 72,617 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. This map of New Hampshire shows you where current cases of COVID-19 are. Epping, 6 current cases. And this map here of New Hampshire shows you total cases of COVID-19. Barrington, 15. This chart here, total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, death. In blue, recovered. This chart here, current cases. Total current COVID-19 cases and current hospitalizations. This chart here, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red, deaths. This chart here shows you age group. This chart here shows you female/male. And this chart here shows you risk information. This chart here shows you race/ethnicity of cases. And this chart here shows you percent of New Hampshire population. And this chart here shows you common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing, how it spreads, and prevention tips. Be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Live at 5:30 p.m. this evening, Governor Chris Sununu answering viewer questions regarding COVID-19 in New Hampshire, live on News 9 at 5:30 p.m. Person found dead after Claremont fire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
I don't care who it is. I'll work with anybody if I feel I'm going to help the American people and the American world.
Right now, the state fire marshal's office is investigating a deadly fire in Claremont. Officials say the first 911 call came in just before 10 last night for a fire at a small cabin on Myrtle Street. Once those flames were out, crews found one victim inside. That person's name has not yet been released.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker hopes to have some businesses reopen on May 18th. Let's take a listen to that video from WCVB Boston.
Wake up.
with New Center 5 Eye Opener.
We'll keep you close to what's happening,
Even if we're a little further apart. Everything you need to be ready for the day ahead. Stay connected with your trusted news source. New Center 5 Eye Opener.
That's right. We're here at Gillette Stadium where the governor was speaking at the state police swearing-in ceremony. He says he hopes to get some businesses back reopened by the middle of May. Now, Sky 5 overhead is 240 trainees were sworn in inside an empty Gillette Stadium. The new troopers wore masks and stood 6 feet apart. The governor says he had mixed feelings about even holding the gathering, but added it was the best way to get them sworn in and out on the job. He also revealed some businesses could be opening very soon.
Our goal, starting on May 18, is to begin reopening certain types of businesses in a limited fashion, where it can be done more safely than under normal operations.
And the governor's order on face coverings taking effect today. People must wear them in places like grocery stores, pharmacies, and on public transportation. They're also to be worn when you can't be socially distant. I want to let you know I am being socially distant, but I do have mine nearby. The governor's saying we're just not there yet. He wants to, even though there are positive trends for these numbers, he wants to see more of it before talking about more businesses potentially reopening. We're live here in Foxborough. Charlotte Sacchetti, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Governor Mills convinced 37-member panel to develop recommendations on long-term economic recovery. Let's take a listen to that video from WMTW News 8 Maine.
My broken heart.
I got to hold him for about 5.
As businesses like the ones here are eager to reopen, Governor Janet Mills announcing the creation of that committee by executive order today. The 37-member board is made up of leaders from a variety of industries, financial, medical, and also nonprofits. Their focus will not be on when to reopen, but instead creating a long-term vision for the state, focusing on things like drawing new investment, creating more economic opportunities, and supporting small businesses.
These recommendations will be the bridge between the current economic emergency caused by the pandemic to the long-term renewal of Maine's economy.
The committee will hold all meetings virtually, and they are soliciting feedback from the public. They will issue a preliminary report on their findings by July 15th, and then a final report by December. Reporting in Portland, Terry Stackhouse, WMTW News 8.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in green and went up. S&P 500 closed in the red and went down. Gold closed in the red and went down. Oil closed in the red and went down. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the green and went up. Dow falls for the first time in 3 days, drops more than 200 points. The Dow Jones Industrial Average and S&P 500 fell for the first time in 3 days on Wednesday as investors weighed the prospect of reopening the economy along with a decimal report on U.S. payroll. Trump speaks on decision to reopen U.S.-aimed pandemic. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
But there are two other major headlines on this, and so I want to bring in our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, in Washington tonight. And first, Cecilia, the president, you heard there acknowledging the potential cost in lives as
he tries to reopen the country. That was significant from the president tonight.
Yeah, David, this is a pretty striking admission. Just think about it. He says that they're still going to move ahead with reopening the country, but that there will indeed be lives lost. Look, he has called this in the past the most difficult decision of his presidency, when to make this decision and how to make this decision of when to reopen the country. But look, his administration and the president himself are laser focused on the economy right now. At the same time, he has left this decision up to the governors. Really, David, right now, the onus is on the states and on the governors when and how to decide, and that is exactly where the White House wants this.
And in the meantime, Cecilia, the president's team confirming to us here late today that the coronavirus task force that we've all become familiar with, the scientists there behind him, even in the middle of this crisis, could actually be winding down.
Yeah, just a few minutes ago, David, the president defended that decision. He says that doctors are still going to be involved, but it seems, as you say, the task force is winding down. Of course, that was the task force led by the vice president with Drs. Birch and Fauci. Even as these cases continue to rise, David, in some parts of the country, a pretty striking development.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.